know from where we came, but we shoot for the stars. Oh yeah, I cannot complain, I've been blessed by the gods. Amen. My success insane, it look like a mirage.
Good evening, YouTube. Welcome to a video where I talk about what mods I have done to the F Type and how much power it's making. The latest mod I've done is this Velocity AP Transmission Tune. It's right over here. We paid the $995 for it, and it comes with this HP Tuners wireless or OBD2 flashing device. This transmission tune has been excellent to drive with. It really makes the car wake up and more responsive. The downshifts are quicker, the upshifts are quicker. You really feel that upshift, almost like a DCT. It's lightning fast with those shifts. And the raised rev limiter really helps. This transmission tune, definitely worth the money. I really enjoyed driving it with this new tune. Next thing we did on the car is the V6 supercharged Jaguar ECU tune from Velocity AP. I opted to go with the upgraded crank pulley and belt right here, and that cost $1,939. I actually bought this during the Black Friday sale, so it was about $1,400. This is a great product as well. It wasn't too bad to install, and it really made a difference as well in the drivability. Just felt so much quicker and more responsive. It gets you up to 450 horsepower on the V6 engine, and our car stock makes 380 horsepower to the crank. I have the V6S model. So overall, this product is really good, and probably the first mod you should do is just tuning it and adding the crank pulley if you want. The third mod we'll talk about is the Mina gallery performance intakes. I got the lower half only right here, not the aluminum upper half up top. This install was not too bad as well. I installed it with the crank pulley and the tune same day. The whole entire thing took about maybe 5 hours to do this and the crank pulley. So this is $185 for the intake. Performance wise, not really sure how much performance you're going to get. It looks like 7 to 14 horsepower at the wheels. I don't know, I kind of doubt that. It's really just for the sound. It really helps with supercharger winds to amplify it more. Next mod is a unique one. It's basically, I didn't want to have to spend $2,000 or $1,500 for an exhaust, so I cut open the OEM muffler and took out the resonators inside here and put in straight pipes. We welded the straight pipes right inside the muffler. This is the top of the muffler, so you never see, because we welded this top piece back on and it just goes right back in, and this whole area is up top, so you don't really see, you can't see that it's been modified. You still have your valves right here that allow you to control if you want the car to be loud or quiet, and that's so important now that we have Catless downpipes and the car is just way too loud with the valves open all the time. So we run with the valves closed most of the time when I'm just trying to drive it normally. The sound pretty much doubled from modifying the muffler this way, and you get some more performance just for your flowing exhaust. Overall, great mod. I paid $60 to have a shop weld this back together, and I did the cutting myself. I cut it all this off and I just had the shop weld it back on. Catless downpipes. This mod is free because unfortunately our catalytic converter clogged up. The Bank 1 catalytic converter. Bank 2 was not far behind. I took it out and it looked bad too. It was about to go as well. So what happened was the catalytic converter had basically got destroyed, probably from all the overrun and burbles, and also the car is 69,000 miles. So that basically just blew the cats out, and what I did was I just gutted them up. I bought some used cats on eBay to basically fit them in when it's time for smog. But other than that, I gutted these out, and I'm using Catless gutted downpipes, OEM. So this was free to do. I guess you can say that I had to buy a new catalytic converter, and those cost me $800 used on eBay. So last thing I'll talk about is spark plugs. Since I was at 69,000 miles and I was tuned, I wanted to change the spark plugs to some brand new ones. Same one, OEM NGK, looks like 93476. This spark plug has been doing great for me so far. I installed it and I have a video on how to install it. I gapped it down to 0.025 inches. The stock gap was 0.032. So I gapped it down because we are running more boost, we're tuned, and I just want to make sure that there's no misfires at all and it runs optimally. Running a shorter gap will basically wear your plugs out quicker, but as long as you kind of drive it hard, you can reduce the carbon buildup on the tips by revving it out every once in a while and giving it the Italian tune-up. So pretty much every time I drive the car, I always give it a couple of full throttle rev to red line and really blow out some of that carbon on the plugs. And I don't mind having to change these out in another 10 to 15,000 miles again, because that's just the life of owning a tuned car. You have to do maintenance more often. So now we're going to transition into estimating how much horsepower this setup for the V6S F Type is making. First thing I need to do is get the weight of the car, and I went on the Jaguar forums, found a poster named Unhinged on the Jaguar forums. He was able to weigh his car, and it's pretty similar to mine aside from his being a manual transmission. Mine is an automatic transmission, so it's just going to be an estimate at this point, because his is fully option, which is the same as mine. Both got the heavy wheels, the 20-inch wheels. With a full tank, his is at 3,800 pounds. With an empty tank, 3,689 pounds. And we have to add the driver in there as well. So I'm 180 pounds. So when we look at my video here, so it looks like I'm at about a quarter tank of fuel. So 111 for the difference in full tank versus an empty tank. 111 divided by 4. 27.75 plus 3,689. And then myself, which is 180 pounds. So his is a manual transmission. It might be a little lighter than the automatic transmission. I think we'll just go with unhinged weight, because that's very similar to mine aside from the transmission, and I don't have access to a place to weigh the car to get an actual result. So this is all just estimates. So back to the calculator. We're going to go with the number 3,896.75. Let's just go 3,900 for an estimate. We're going to go to a website here called cprparts.com HP calculator, and I'm going to input my weight of the car, 3,900 pounds, and we're going to calculate the horsepower from trap speed. So there's the time I'm looking for. Quarter mile trap speed of 109.74. 109.74 miles per hour, and then we're going to press calculate horsepower. So this is our numbers right here. 402 horsepower at the rear wheels and 483 horsepower at the flywheel. Let's compare that with our time, a quarter mile time. So we're going to go 3,900 pounds, and then what time did we get? 12.53 seconds. 12.53 seconds, and then we're going to calculate that. So pretty close. 402 horsepower and 392 horsepower at the rear wheels. When you assume a 20% drivetrain loss, that'll be 470 at the crank and 483 at the crank. So taking the difference from here, we can say 475 horsepower-ish at the crank and about 395 or 296 horsepower to the wheels. That's actually pretty impressive. That's basically what we're making right now for an estimate without going to the dyno. This is a free way to estimate your horsepower using your quarter mile times. Thanks for watching, guys.